Scooby, we'll get really quick, Mark. Scooby, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you being here as always. Thank you so much for support. And Slap Happy, Miller stays in the process. So thank you, Slap, for being here as always. You're one of our most consistent guys here. And Roy, again, these young receivers, they are studs. And yeah, I'm excited to see what they can do.
And so getting open a lot more quickly than Dorian Singer and Mario Williams did in 2023, that will help enormously.
Dorian Singer, a disappointment to me considering what he did with Arizona the season prior. We're talking about an 85 catch guy with over 1,000 yards the previous season.
And like there was a memorable USC origin story with Singer. You know, he was making all those circus catches against USC in Tucson in 2022, and Caleb Williams said, "Can we get this guy?" You know, so like, and when he came aboard, like I was really excited. I won't speak for anyone else, but like I thought, hey, the circus is coming to town. We have our Jordan Addison replacement. Not that Dorian Singer had the same skill set as Jordan Addison. They're very different kinds of guys. But I thought, like, you know, hey, this guy's going to make contested catches. He's going to make big plays. You know, he's going to score a lot. And didn't happen. And one of the things that, you know, some people might remember me saying this like months ago, like we were doing our postseason postmortem. But it's worth just digging up this point. One of the USC beat writers at 247 mentioned that Dorian Singer didn't fit Lincoln Riley's scheme, that it didn't play to his ability to catch 50-50 balls, that Lincoln Riley's scheme didn't, you know, involve as many 50-50 balls. And that always struck me as weird. Not the reporting, because the reporting's credible. I'm just talking about the idea of a scheme leaning into 50-50 balls. If a scheme's leaning into 50-50 balls, that's not much of a scheme. The whole point of a scheme is that you're getting guys open within the flow and the connectivity of your offense. And so I reiterate the point that if Dorian Singer personally felt that he needed to be in an offense where he was going to get a lot of 50-50 balls, that was a big miscalculation on his part, and it was a miscalculation on Lincoln Riley and USC's part for thinking that that could be integrated. There really seemed to be some cross signals and some different motivations from the USC side and from Dorian Singer's side. So with this young group, you know, it's that like they're being brought up within the offense, the structure that Miller Moss trusted in the Holiday Bowl. That gives me so much more confidence that you're going to see guys getting open because they're going to be trusting the system, how to get open, how to run their routes precisely and professionally. They're not going to rely on catching 50-50 balls the way Dorian Singer did at Arizona. Caleb Williams didn't throw him many 50-50 balls because Caleb Williams wanted to make the clean big play. And often, of course, that hurt Caleb Williams in the offensive line because Caleb Williams took more time than he needed or took more time than he could afford. But anyway, with Miller Moss and this young group, all coming up together and showing what they could do as a collective whole in the Holiday Bowl, you should see a lot more of receivers getting open with crisp route running and targeted routes and, you know, immediate bursts of action. And of course, these guys have the speed to get open quickly to help Miller Moss within the structure of the USC offense.
And you made a big point of that, Matt. You talked about the lack of separation the receivers were getting, which had Caleb holding onto the ball a bit longer, which had the offensive line either holding or breaking down. It was just this kind of thing. And it kind of said it started with the lack of separation. And I think you hit it. I think I do remember that it was the 247 guys, and they were talking about it wasn't as much, I don't think, the scheme, Matt, as it was the fact that that Caleb wasn't apt to throw that tight window throw or throw that 50-50. He wanted to throw guys open or throw to guys that are open. Maybe he just didn't trust Dorian Singer. I don't know why, but I mean, he wouldn't throw that ball that he was getting quite often when he was at Arizona. Thank you so much. And then we have Scooby coming back in. What do you guys think about Mekhi Lemon emerging as number one with his built-up trust with Miller last season. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about. I thought it was going to be Malachi Nelson and Makai Lemon, but yeah, Miller's stepping right in because Miller got a lot of reps with the twos. And guess who we're seeing all year? We're gonna be seeing all the twos, and so he's gonna have a rapport with all these guys. Jacoby Lane, all these guys. They've seen a lot of passing reps together. So look for that big jump with all these guys because they are familiar with each other. Absolutely.
And Scooby, in my response to that is, it's less about one guy. I mean, it's true that when you do have one guy being excellent, the way Jordan Addison was 2 years ago, that does have a domino effect. When one guy can really dominate on his side of the field in his matchup, that naturally does bring more attention from the defense, and it opens up opportunities for the Taj Washingtons and 2 years ago the Kyle Fords and other guys in their other complementary routes. But it's less about one guy stepping up. It's more about the whole receiving core being good because like you had Taj Washington playing well last year, but it was both. And we mentioned Dorian Singer. Let's not forget Mario Williams, also a bust. And so if you had just one of those two guys being significantly better than what they showed, just having one of the two step up would have meant a lot for the offense. So yeah, I mean, like Makai Lemon could be the guy, but like Jacoby Lane could be the guy, and of course Zachariah Branch. If he develops his route running and can become really polished as a true technician at wide receiver, obviously he has the natural gifts, the athleticism, the speed, the dynamism, but if he can become a technician as a route runner, then that can just be an absolute game changer for Miller Moss and the rest of the UFC offense. So like the fun thing, the exciting thing is that there are three candidates in my mind who could all really become the guy. Lemon's one, Jacoby Lane's another, and Zachariah Branch is the other. Three guys who could all be really, really special. And just the main thing is that like everyone is developing and evolving. And
you're not even talking about you're not talking about Deuce Robinson also, who could absolutely stretch the field with his size, third downs, goal line. Yeah. He's gonna be something special. And then Kyron Hudson, he doesn't get a lot of play, but all he does, he just shows up and makes catches. So again, he might be that glue piece for this. It's weird to think of him as one of the veteran guys. They picked up Richardson from Tufts. I don't know how much, if he's just maybe a depth piece or what his role is going to be on the team. But it will be very interesting to see how quickly. I think that the pecking order, I do believe the pecking order will become apparent very early in the season. And so I'm it's trial by fire. The three first games are against LSU and Michigan. So this young, and I say young in air quotes, but they're mainly sophomores, right? Second year guys, so they're freshmen, but they're second year guys. They're gonna have to grow up in a hurry, on the road on a neutral field in Vegas against LSU, and then on the road in the Big House in Ann Arbor against the defending national champions. Those are two quick games that this youngish receiving core is going to have to put together. Because if you remember, we had one of the best receivers we've had here at USC go into Kansas State and have a couple drops. Mike Williams, who went on to be one of our a favorite. One player costs someone a game, but when you're young and you're looking to run before you catch the ball, you have a couple drops in those close games. It can be very important. But I do think that these guys are going to be ready.
And just one point to emphasize, not in terms of this group, but in terms of USC's opponents. We all saw LSU last season, an absolute disaster in the secondary. And so, and look, folks, I'm not saying Lincoln Riley should abandon the run, okay? I'm not saying that. But the LSU game might, I say might, I'm not doing definites here. It might shape up as a game where throwing the ball carries a little more weight and centrality for the USC offense, just because LSU couldn't cover a dandelion last year. LSU couldn't cover anything in the back end. And so if the receivers can really bust out against LSU, Trojans have a chance to ring up a very big number in Las Vegas.
This is not your older brother's LSU secondary. One of our favorite LSU guys, Matt Moscona with ESPN Baton Rouge, says this is the worst. Now, they expect some of the young guys to take hold here in 24, but the worst secondary play, not just the worst secondary play and production, but the worst level of talent he had ever seen at LSU. So they have things to clean up on that side of the ball for sure.